You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show.
The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG, it's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy, episode 719.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Hello, you're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. The view from our side of the cockpit door, with your host, Captain Jeff, broadcasting live from the APG Road Vessel Studio. Today's show is recorded the week of August 10th, 2026.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy. Picture light and he's flying by with the Airline Pilot Guy.
In today's episode, an airliner comes within 1 mile of the president's helicopter, and a freight plane asks for a gentle course because it's carrying 7 beluga whales. Also ahead, more news and your feedback. We'll get all settled in. Tray tables and seat backs in the upright and lock positions. Electronic devices powered on. I'm Radio Roger, and Flight 719 is ready for pushback.
Thank you, Radio Roger. He's an award-winning TV and radio reporter, currently at the number one all-news station in the nation, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in
New York City!
Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot and retired Delta Airlines captain. And joining me from his Garden View studio,
in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire,
a retired professional dog photographer, former RAF, RAAF fighter pilot, retired Airbus A330, A340 captain for Virgin Atlantic Airways, it's Captain Nick.
Hello there, Jeff, and 719, the show number for today. I'd usually do something historic, but this is quite recent. So, American Flight 719 was on its way from Leonardo da Vinci to Philadelphia, when 3 hours in, it turned back across the Atlantic and diverted to Dublin. Apparently, 6 out of the 9 flight attendants began to feel dizzy and unwell due to a mysterious odour in the aircraft, a 787-9. The passengers and the crew remained in Ireland overnight. Perhaps they just wanted a few Guinness, I don't know, perhaps, and continued their journey in the morning. Apparently, the smell was found to have come from one of the aircraft ovens. Now, what are they cooking in American nowadays? Ooh. Smells a bit fishy.
Is the plural of Guinness Guinness?
Guinea,
well,
maybe.
Guinness.
You could try and call it Guinea, but
that might be a different thing.
Guinnesses?
Oh, okay. What is it? The plural of Guinness is drunk?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sailing 85. All right.
That's Chuck, by the way.
Oh, Chuck? Oh, okay. Hey, Chuck. What's up, Chuck? All right. So, also joining us today from his home studio in the air. Nope. From the Northwoods of the Atlanta suburbs, race car driver, self-taught chef, and a commercial multi-instrument engine rated. Wait a minute. Should be a multi-engine instrument rated pilot with an interest in anything with enough horsepower to kill him. It's AJ Schramm, also known as Alpha Juliet. Hello, sir.
Hey, Jeff. Good one, Nick. You got him.
Actually, no.
I tried.
I actually took that and made it a separate. I'm looking at a separate.
Yeah,
document.
He just got his in on time. I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
hello.
Good to see you.
Good to be here. Good to see you guys.
This is normally where I play the sound effect for and introduce our producer Liz, but sadly she's feeling under the weather today, so she will not be joining us. So it's probably going to go off the rails. In fact, I think maybe it already has. Yeah. Well, we're gonna push on anyway, and we're gonna do some aviation news right now.
Stand by for news. The FAA and the NTSB are now reviewing an incident involving Trump's Marine One helicopter and a passenger jet that got too close. On Tuesday, as Marine One took off from the White House with Trump on board, a plane took off from nearby Reagan Airport. And typically, air traffic is paused when the helicopter is in the air. But radio traffic shows that the president's crew and the control tower had trouble communicating before takeoff.
Tower, just want to make sure you copy Marine 1, 3 minutes to lift. Tower, do you copy Marine 1, 3 minutes to lift? That's on, that's broken and readable.
In a statement, a spokesman for the Federal Aviation Administration says, quote, based on our preliminary safety review, there was a momentary loss of separation after which the aircraft continued to move away from one another. The president was never in danger. So joining me now to discuss, Harvey Skolnick, retired air traffic controller. So Harvey, the good news is you and I are not talking about a collision, which is usually when I call you, right? We're talking about a near miss, as they say. What do you hear in this situation? Is it a miscommunication? Is it just something dropping out? Like, what's the scuttlebutt?
Well, what he doesn't hear is what the tower controller didn't hear, and that was Marine One's transmission to the tower, and they said unable to copy or whatever they said. That I think that
calling broken and unreadable.
Exactly, and so apparently the Marine One pilot didn't hear that from the tower either. So that's, go ahead.
Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait till we finish through the rest of the video?
No, I'm finished with that.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
So the thing about radios is their line of sight, right? They were taking off from a different place than they normally would at the White House, because the White House South Lawn or whatever is under construction. And they know that the radios work from the South Lawn because they've used them there for years, right? Where they've moved to in this park, I don't know where it is. I honestly haven't even looked at a map. But my guess is that they've moved to a place where they are no longer in direct line of sight to the tower. And when you're on the ground, you get a lot of things between you and the tower. So even at like the little tiny airport that my airplanes are based out of, if we're on one side of a hangar, between the hangars between us and the tower, it gets very difficult to hear them. As soon as you pull your airplane just past the tower, or past the hangar into the ramp, you can hear fine. So it's very, very affected by obstructions, trees, buildings, anything like that. So the fact that they called 3 times, they barely heard something one of those times, and again, Marine One didn't hear that. It's not really a miscommunication. It's a lack of communication. There was no direct contact. And Chuck's got a great comment here. If only there weren't more efficient methods of communication in 2026.
Yeah. Like
a telephone. Well, I think flags are particularly effective.
Oh,
you could have got someone waving flags.
Well, this article
in the Navy.
Smoke signals at the White House might not go over very well.
Let's see. I'm looking at this New York Times.com article, and it says, since July, Mr. Trump has been flying in and out of the Ellipse, a public park south of the White House, because the area on the White House South Lawn from which Marine One typically operates has been closed for the construction of a new helipad. So my question is, well, this just happened very recently in August, and since July they've been operating in and out of the Ellipse. Why did they not have any issues before?
It could be they parked at a different, they landed in a different place in the park.
Yeah,
moved just like I said, a very small change could make a significant difference. If there's a big copse of trees, and they parked on this side of the copse of trees, and this time they parked right behind the trees, that could make that much of a difference, really.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. All right. Anything else to say regarding that?
It wasn't I don't know what particularly close, was it? 700 feet?
No, it was barely a near miss. It was 0.8 miles. The only separation that they broke was the 0.8 miles.
Yeah.
They were more than 500 feet separated.
Yeah, so it wasn't really, really super close.
But it was the president.
Neither pilot even blinked.
Yeah. Let's jump to this next news item. Now, I have to say, Liz was very excited about this, and I can understand why. It's kind of a sad / feel good kind of news story, and it involves wildlife. Liz's Wildlife. No, not Liz's Wildlife. It involves some beluga whales. Are
they the ones that make caviar? Or are they sturgeon?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Beluga caviar doesn't come from beluga whales. Is that what you're going to try and tell me?
I don't. Well, being that whales are mammals and they don't lay eggs, I'm going to go with probably not.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's that famous sturgeon fish.
It's a bunch of sturgeon that are owned by the beluga family.
Why, the whale family.
See, people, everything's out of control already. We're only on the second news item.
This is why they come to us, to get the real inside look at the caviar industry.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with, we have several videos and several news items having to do with this. What does it take to, this is from a post on the Toronto Pearson, it's actually x.com, Toronto Pearson channel. What does it take to safely fly 7 beluga whales across North America? A carefully coordinated journey moving through Canada's largest airport. The trucks arrive at Toronto Pearson carrying 7 beluga whales, each safely secured in a specialized temperature-controlled transport unit. So it goes on. We'll have that. A link to that in the show notes. But let me see. Shall we start with this video regarding the actual airplane that was transporting some of these whales? I guess we should probably tell you why they're transporting whales to begin with.
Right now, today, we are gathering to move 7 beluga whales from Marineland in Canada. We, about 10 days ago, moved 2 male whales who are thriving and doing great, and we hope for the same thing here. It takes a lot of teamwork, so where I'm always amazed is how well these institutions who don't work together really stop and they listen, and they pay attention, and they're really helping to make sure that these whales get from point A to point B very successfully. The teamwork is off the charts. These are all AZA accredited institutions, which is the gold standard of care for animals in zoos and aquariums. We were up very, very early preparing the boxes that the whales are going to travel in, getting the water temperature down, getting them ready for the whales to be lifted out of their pools and put into the boxes. They'll travel in these large trucks to the airport. The airport folks will load them onto a large 777 aircraft, and then from there, take off and we'll fly to San Antonio and basically do everything in reverse. The important thing here is that we're bringing a whole group of whales. These whales all know each other, and we're thinking that the socialization that they have with each other will benefit them when they get to the pools in San Antonio.
Hey Jim, is that you over there?
Hey, yeah. What? Long time no see. Where you been? I've been flying.
Hey man, where you going to Texas? Where are you going?
Yeah, so some of them are going to San Antonio, some to Chicago, various. So I guess Liz would probably have helped us set this whole thing up. At Marineland in Niagara Falls in Canada. What's so funny?
It's Peter Tarantelli's comment.
Good thing they transported the males and females separately. Wouldn't want any of them trying to join the Mile High Club. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Captain,
like, what's making this whole darn airplane
in trim? I don't know what's
it's like all over the place. Okay.
Sloshing around back here.
Anyway, so Marineland shut down, closed their doors in 2024, I believe, to the public. And since then, these whales have been living in the big giant aquarium tanks at Marineland. And they finally, I guess they've been trying to arrange for other zoos in North America to take possession of these beluga whales. And so this is now the process that we're covering. And let's see, I think we have, this is an interesting one. If you'll pop that back into the big screen, someone, for me. And this is from Flight Radar 24 and ATC Audio.
So to give you a heads up, we're carrying some fairly sensitive cargo. This morning, we'd like to roll right through to November and left turn if available, please, without heavy braking. We've got some sensitive cargo, whales on board.
Sorry, 8086 Heavy. Approved as requested, whatever you need.
Thank you much.
You don't have horses on board, do you, Qatari 8086 Heavy?
No, just beluga whales coming your way for SeaWorld.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering, I think you're coming in from Toronto. Those the beluga whales from Canada?
Hey, sir.
Copy.
I feel like
All right.
the title there where it says cargo pilot stuns ATC might be slightly overstated.
I don't, yeah.
Just a
Do
little.
you think? Well, I thought the same
Just a
thing. Wait a
skosh.
minute. That wasn't, I don't think anybody was stunned.
He's like, oh yeah, those ones from Canada? Cool.
Particularly the whales. You don't want to go around stunning the whales.
No,
hey.
that's not good. That's not good at all. Let's see. Here's another video. Let's see what this is. Join us in welcoming 7 belugas to SeaWorld San Antonio. Qatar Airways is the airline that they chartered.
Or Qatari if you're San Antonio
Qatari.
ATC.
Yeah, whatever. That airline from the Middle East. I wonder why they didn't why didn't Air Canada fly these things? I don't know. Maybe Air Canada doesn't have the freighters to do that. I don't know. Here's another one. Let's see what this is.
It's been a week since 4 new beluga whales were rescued from a marine park in Canada and welcomed to the Shed Aquarium.
This is Chicago.
Let's head inside, talk to their caretakers, and see how things are going.
Okay.
Right now, the whales are being kept out of the public eye, but on the day we visited, they had just met a couple of Shed's other belugas.
We have staff here 24 hours a day, and we're monitoring them constantly. What they're looking for is how many times they're pooping, how much they're eating, how many times they're breathing, where the animal's spending time.
That's what a lot of people do that take care of me. See if I'm eating, see how many times I'm pooping.
Metrics. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So that's
count those sort of things.
That's Chicago's Shed Aquarium. But hey, you know what? Georgia, they wanted to be part of this as well. So let's see.
Eyal Boxes has a good point here.
What does he say? They'd have to keep the water level below the heads of the pilots, right? Yeah, no kidding.
No, they have snorkels.
So this is showing some footage of the couple of the belugas at the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta. Oh, this one makes a foghorn sound. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, so we'll have a link to all of these wonderful beluga whale videos in our show notes for you to watch. Yeah. So that was kind of a fun story, I think.
Was kind of. I just keep looking at this sentence here that they wrote at the beginning. From wheels down to wheels up, I'm going, no, that's the wrong order. If you do it that way, there's usually a very nasty noise.
No matter what, that's wrong. Whether you're talking about landing gear retraction, touching the ground, no matter what, this doesn't work.
Well, it's obviously coming from an aviation journalist.
Yes. An expert.
Yes.
All right. Nice try.
Very good. All right.
That was good.
Let's move on to this. Yes, sir.
Very happy now.
Very happy. I'm happy to. Oh, you know what though? You know what we need to do? If you'll put it back up in the big screen for me, someone.
It never left.
It didn't. Okay. So, yeah. Thanks for your help, everybody.
No problem.
So, feel free
Jeff,
to.
we had another one.
Feel free to, do whatever you want there to help me out with putting things in the big screen and taking them away and such. So here is, Liz was posing the question, well, why didn't they use this instead of that Qatari 777? This is on the screen, the Airbus Beluga XL, the craft that Airbus uses to transport large pieces of airplanes from here to there and everywhere. And look at this one. This one actually looks like it went down and scooped up a fish.
Yeah, nice looking fish.
Yeah.
What do you reckon it is?
Is that a carp, maybe?
It's a fish.
I don't
know.
Well, that was a whale of a story, Jeff.
Yeah, it was.
Well done.
Well, we just had a whale of a time for sure. Let's talk about this from the Aviation Herald. A preliminary report, an accident involving a Cathay A330-300, registration Bravo Hotel Lima, Quebec, performing flight 509 from Tokyo, Narita, Japan to Hong Kong, China, was on approach to runway 7 right in poor weather at 13:08 local time when the crew initiated a go-around from a very low height. The tail, however, contacted the runway surface. The aircraft climbed to 5,000 feet, positioned for another approach, and landed safely on runway 7 left about 15 minutes after the go-around. On the 24th of July, 2026, Hong Kong's AAIA reported that the aircraft was on approach to Hong Kong's runway 7 right, with the first officer being the pilot flying. The autopilot was disengaged at about 800 feet. The aircraft began to veer to the right. The captain instructed the first officer to correct, but found the correction insufficient. The aircraft began to lose height. Well, I'd hope so. I mean, they're coming down for an approach to land, so...
yeah. It'd be embarrassing if they didn't lose some height.
Yeah, maybe they mean lose like an excessive amount of height or altitude. Captain took control of the aircraft at about 200 feet and initiated a go-around. The aircraft, however, continued to descend. And the tail of the aircraft contacted the runway surface about 800 feet past the runway threshold. The aircraft positioned for another approach and landed without further incident. Hong Kong's AAIA released their preliminary reports, briefly summarizing, during the approach for landing on 7 right, the crew decided to initiate a go-around due to operational reasons. Yeah, they wanted to operate on a runway, apparently.
These tires operate better on asphalt than grass.
No kidding. During the pre-flight, during the
go-around
post-flight
procedure
inspection, signs of abrasion of lower fuselage skin by the runway surface was identified from frame station FR 69 to FR 85. That's exactly where I would have looked for it. And something about some kind of water door. I'm trying to find my...
Potable.
There we go. I found it. The potable water service door was the waste service door and the potable water service door and the aft water drain mask were also damaged. Okay, so they screwed up. Oh, also, this is even worse. Examination of the aft cargo compartment revealed deformation and cracks in several floor beam webs, floor beam supports, slope panel supports, and frame beams. A floor crossbeam support strut was broken. A 10-inch crack was found at the bottom side of the aft pressure bulkhead. In other words, they done broke that thing.
Yeah, sounds like gave it a wallop, doesn't it?
Now, tell me this. I've never flown an A330, but 200 feet seems like a lot of feet to lose in a go-around. I understand if you go around at 50 feet, you're probably going to touch the runway. I get that. But doesn't 200 feet seem a little bit high to still touch the
absolutely.
runway?
Yes, very much so. In fact, 200 feet above the runway would be your sort of normal minimum for an ILS. And if you don't get visual, you go around. So it's a very common maneuver to fly from 200 feet. And you would normally, depending on the weight of the aircraft, expect to lose no less than 50 feet in a go-around. So how they managed to lose the amount they did, I do not know, other than it was a pretty grubbly night. It was gusty. There was quite a strong crosswind and gusty strong crosswind. There were heavy showers of rain with relatively low cloud. And also thunderstorms and rain in one of the actuals I see there. So the conditions might have had quite an impact on them. So, but we've got so little information. Why on earth they would not have done a successful go-around from 200 feet, I just have no idea. So something else went on.
Yeah, it seems a bit mismanaged for the information that we have, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that they managed to, they don't mention that the tyres touched the ground. They don't mention
the tail
gear
did.
touched the ground. Yeah, the tail certainly did. So I'm going, did they actually get the gear up for the sort of go-around flap, positive rate gear up?
Definitely not the positive rate
get
part.
The gear up and then settle onto the runway.
Maybe they did that out of order.
Downdraft?
The positive rate call.
Gear up, flaps up. Oh,
wait.
Positive rate, please.
Yeah, we should probably be climbing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it may have been the weather. It may have been just a poorly executed go-around. There may be some other factor that we haven't been told about. But it's very unusual.
Very. Hey, Peter, we're doing a new thing. It's called ventriloquism. I don't know why our mouths are not sync with the audio, but sorry.
Well, I noticed it on
I've
the
heard
videos,
of a potty mouth, but what's a sync mouth?
But your mouths look fine to me. you don't mind me saying.
That makes me feel kind of weird when another man says it to me.
Why are you staring at my mouth?
Got a purty mouth.
I think we should move on before we get
moving swiftly on.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for noticing, Peter. Let's see. Let's continue on with this from the New York Times. Rescuers battled extreme weather conditions during a Medevac mission in Antarctica. An Australian flight crew faced sub-freezing temperatures, changing weather conditions, and almost constant darkness as they worked to rescue a U.S. national. In the wee hours...
Gosh. Pulling you guys out of the poo again.
Yeah, I know. In the small hours of the morning, how about, I would say in the wee hours of the morning in southern...
sub-freezing in the wee hours? I don't know.
A plane full of rescue workers took off on a rare mission. About 5 hours away, a U.S. national needed an urgent medevac from Antarctica. The mission, carried out last week by the Australian Antarctic Division and Australian aviation company Skytraders, took the crew to the bottom of the world at the most perilous time of year, the middle of winter in the southern hemisphere. Requests for rescue operations in Antarctica with its sub-freezing temperatures, almost constant darkness, and extreme weather conditions are few and far between. Scientists and others working there often go through various health checks before their departure, and there are several doctors at various stations if needed. Still, things go wrong. Louise Robertson, a captain on last week's flight, said it was the type of mission that had never been carried out in July before. She said it's the most extreme conditions that you can operate therein, and it's complete blackness, the coldest operating conditions, so it's close to the operating limits of the aircraft. Looks like they used an Airbus, an A319, and let's see, they were at the American Antarctic base known as McMurdo Station.
Does the A319 have a limitation on how long you can fly it in the dark?
Yeah, the pilots get frightened.
Yeah. So anyway,
you have to have extra cabin crew to check under the bed if you're flying under the dark for that length of time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, bravo to this rescue team and this company with their A319, and it was a successful rescue.
Well, it was pretty cold, wasn't it? Minus 45 Fahrenheit, minus 43 degrees centigrade or Celsius. And normally, for 6 months, they don't have any aircraft going in there at all. So, yeah, it is pretty rare. And you can understand why.
I think it's only been the last few years, last several, maybe 10 years, that they've flown anything really other than like military aircraft in there, right? It hasn't been that long they've been flying, Airbuses and Boeings in there.
Indeed. In fact, it's quite a tick, I think, on the manufacturer's checklist to get one of their aircraft to go down to Antarctica.
I think we've had some stories, though, in the last year of some airlines landing.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying it's the first one, but it's not always been that way. I'm saying if you go back 5 years ago, it was C-17s and C-130s, and that's pretty much it.
And then before that, the C-141s. Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to be part of one of those ice missions. The best part of them is the fact that we flew down to Christchurch, New Zealand, on the New Zealand South Island. And that was the reason why everybody loved doing that mission, is that spending a lot of time in Christchurch, New Zealand. And that's where they kind of took off and, staged their missions down to Antarctica.
It's a great country.
Jeff, you're from round about the same place I am. I think we would both consider Antarctica unfortunate. Because California is warm.
Yeah, Antarctica, if you're talking about weather, if you like white ice, it's very nice.
Well, it's better than yellow snow.
But Christchurch, New Zealand, on the other hand, is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, I'm sure that would be fantastic.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've played this sound effect. All right, from news.cision.com. Never heard of that website. An automated external defibrillator, an AED, delivered by Everdrone's drone system was used in response to a confirmed out-of-hospital cardiac arrest involving a man in his 60s in Borås, Sweden on the 19th of July, 2026. The drone was dispatched as part of Västra Götaland region's VGR standard emergency response and delivered
Ding.
the AED. Thank you. Should I do that? Okay. Thank you. Delivered to the scene of the incident prior to ambulance arrival. The man regained a pulse at the scene and was subsequently treated in hospital. According to Mats Salstrom, CEO of Everdrone, in cases of out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, the first few minutes are critical. Everdrone's drone system helps healthcare providers get an AED to the scene as early as possible, giving the patient the best possible chance of survival. And, of course, if Liz were here, she'd be showing this picture of one of those larger quadrocopter drone things with an AED kind of hanging from it.
We might not have a picture, Jeff, but we might have a medical expert who could answer any questions about the AEDs.
Oh, really? Yeah, we do. Thank you for pointing that out. I see the host, but she's probably working out audio problems.
No.
Yeah. So
because it's been never mind.
Yeah, it's been a while since she's been on the show, and usually that means that her computer's not
everything needs
behaving.
Updating.
Yeah. But we'll wait when she's ready. She'll return. And
I'm interested. They say the first few minutes are important. I'd have thought the last few minutes would have been pretty important as well.
I think they're all
the key is making the first few minutes also not the last few minutes. We want those to be separate things.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though, that, we've been kind of, well, I have been a little bit down on drone technology and such and its uses, but this is a great use case for saving a life.
I'm curious as to how they, how is there just a big red button on a tree somewhere that someone goes, oh, summon the drone? How do they know? I know it says an emergency call to SOS alarm.
Hello, man with a heart attack. Could you send a drone, please?
I mean,
that's exactly the way it went down. I'm sure.
The other thing is getting precise location. I think that's something that is
3 words?
I mean, something like that.
We can do it at Oshkosh. They can do it in Sweden.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so in our Civil Air Patrol search and rescue operations, we deal with a lot with getting people on the ground and getting people in an airplane or an aircraft in the same place. And it's the more you think about it, the more you think through it. There's a lot of things you don't realize about how difficult that actually is, because you can be 100 feet away on the ground and not see the thing, but from the air you can see it. But also vice versa can be true. If you're in, dense forest or trees or something like that, or anywhere that's covered by anything, you can be standing right in front of this whatever, incident and be flying over it at 200 feet and never see it. So I think I'd be curious to know what they used for, getting a precise location to that drone.
I don't know. I don't think they say exactly how in this article. Oh, well.
Magic.
Yeah. It just worked. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Very good. Let's see. Oh, Liz comes in with an article from Paddle Your Own Canoe. It's been a while since we've had a news item from Paddle Your Own Canoe. The headline is Stunning Security Lapse. Man crept on board a JetBlue plane at a maintenance hangar in Fort Lauderdale and was found sleeping in the bathroom. Okay, we're going to
no one saw him get on board. How do they know he crept? He could have boldly strolled on board.
That's true. It's possible. A man was found by engineers sleeping in the bathroom of a JetBlue plane that had been parked overnight at a maintenance facility within the Fort Lauderdale International Airport, FLL, on Sunday. 32-year-old Samuel Prescott Lackey, what a lackey, has been charged
he's a lackey.
with...
Don't lackeys always creep?
Yeah, that's right. That's how they know that he crept. Has been charged with unarmed burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. Wow. That's what I would have said. Criminal mischief over $1,000 and impairing critical infrastructure. It's alleged that lackey was walking along the perimeter of the airport late on Saturday evening when he climbed the fence to the maintenance facility owned by a third-party contractor, Jetscape. He then entered the hangar where he found the JetBlue Airbus A320 parked. The aircraft was unattended, but one of the rear doors had been left open and a set of mobile air stairs had been placed beside it. Lackey reportedly admitted to police that he scaled the security fence and boarded the plane. This is the part I don't really understand. Once inside, he hid in one of the bathrooms and fell asleep. Now, I don't know about you guys. I mean, the article continues on and about fines and all that kind of stuff, but why would you go to the bathroom to sleep? Just because you think that nobody's going to find you? Or because I would think that I'd find a row of seats and lie down.
Maybe it was multitasking.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, okay, I see. He may have been relieving himself and then he just fell asleep because it was so exhausting.
Yeah. It was quite late. The other thing is, being that this is Florida, I'd say there's a 75% chance he gets away with this. Because he walked through an open door, up open stairs, and into another open door on an airplane. I didn't know. Well,
yeah, I have a feeling he probably knows that he was trespassing.
Oh, that's not the point, though. That's not the point.
It's not? Okay.
Not in Florida.
Okay. So that's just a case of a Florida man? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
That checks. I'm surprised he didn't have an alligator.
Not a Florida man, not a Florida woman, but a South Carolina woman has joined us. Hello, Dr. Steph.
Hi there. I was unsure
Nice
where
to
that was
see you.
going at first. I thought that maybe there was another news article, which I can't get to
Yeah, she
because
was like,
my Evernote also is
What?
not
No way.
updating. It's like
Weird.
stuck back in June, so I don't.
That may have been
At
the
least
last
I have-
time you were on the show.
It might have been, honestly. Sorry about that. I don't know. But
No,
now at
we're
least
happy
the
to see
audio
you.
is working because it was not recognizing my Motu at all.
Oh, no.
Like, at all.
Oh.
I don't know what I did to get it working again, but finally it just appeared. So I was like, great. Now I can at least join. And you can hear me. And I can hear you. I could hear you just fine, but it was just coming through my computer speakers. So that
I'm
would not
glad you
have
got it all sorted out, Steph.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Well, I don't know about all sorted out.
Well,
some
partially.
sorted out. Partially.
We can hear you and we can see you, and that's the most important thing.
Peter makes a good point, Steph. Nobody knows where this is going because this train is off the rails.
Been off the rails.
So Steph's not aware, but I think she's probably kind of picking up on the fact that Miss Liz, our producer, the one that keeps everything
I
on the
have
rails.
talked to Liz already, so I
have
know
you?
what's going on. Yeah.
Oh, she probably called you and begged you, please get on the show as quickly as you can because it's just those guys.
No, I was actually just trying to give an update about my whereabouts without having to like spam everybody's text messages.
Oh.
And I know
So she's
not
feeling a
with us
little
today.
dizzy and
Yeah, not great.
nauseated, and so she said, "Ain't going to be able to do the show today." And so
understandable.
we're giving it a go here. So we're not going to hear her lovely voice saying sweet little pithy comments to us in the background. Oh well.
Like, where's the steering wheel on a train?
Then maybe
Same
that's
place
why
as
it's
the steering wheel on an airplane, maybe? I don't know.
maybe that's why we're having trouble keeping it on the rails because we don't know where.
I would come back at you with the Ford Tri-Motor, which has
I understand it does
a
have
steering wheel.
Yes, fair.
Okay. Well, hey, so we've covered a few news items already, Miss Steph, and I am happy that you are here today because we've had something in our feedback for quite some time regarding something that you know something about, which is skydiving. So look forward to being able to cover that and cross that off our list of
That's a list.
feedback items. So anyway, we were talking about this guy, falling asleep in the lab, and then I guess apparently it's not the first time that this kind of thing has happened. It happened in Austria, I think. Well, at least in Austrian Airlines jet, a regional Embraer 190 was parked overnight.
Slovakia.
It's Slovakia in preparation to fly back to Austria, Vienna, Austria. And the suspect, in this case, managed to open the door and fall asleep in the first row of seats. Oh, at least this person.
I guess first class. Sensible chap.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, So
that was the second one has a great ending to it because he got woken up and his first question was, "Have we taken off yet?"
I love it.
Nice. All right. Let's continue with this last item in our news segment from BBC.com. Gloucestershire. Am I saying that right?
No.
Gloucestershire.
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 No,
Yes.
say it the way it's supposed to be said, Captain Nick.
Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire. I thought it was pretty darn close.
Missed it.
A woman from that place, 97 years old. What? Breaks the record for the oldest wing walker. A 97-year-old woman who suffered a stroke in 2025 has broken the Guinness World Record for being the oldest female wing walker. Wait a minute, the oldest female? I mean, maybe that means that there is an older man who's done this?
Or much younger, just the male record is different.
Could be.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, Betty Bromage, who lives in Cheltenham.
Cheltenham.
All right. Broke her own record, which was set when she did the same challenge 4 years ago. She raised funds for the stroke unit at that city that begins with a C, General Hospital, where staff cared for her when she was sick. Speaking about having done 6 wing walks since the age of 87. What? Okay, so in the last 10 years, she's done 6 wing walks. And she said, I just get bored of life otherwise. I can't drive, I can't see very well, and I get a bit frustrated. So I want to do the things I can do. And that's what I would have thought of, too, if I couldn't do anything.
Wing walking.
I'd think,
Yeah.
wing walking, of course. Wow, that's pretty impressive. And the pictures here we have, she looks pretty spry for a 97-year-old, I'd say.
And she's upside down. Oh, my Lord.
So the male record is held by British World War II veteran Harry Heisman. He set the title at 98 years old, 357 days, back on May 23rd of this year.
Wow.
Why would they just say 99?
Because he was short.
By a week.
What's his height got to do with it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of height shaming, Dr. Steph.
I'm sorry. I don't actually.
You should be ashamed.
have no idea how tall he is.
Okay. Well,
Well, if
there
she
you
tries
go.
again next year, maybe she can get the overall record.
There
Yes.
you go. Go for it.
She's got to do it at 99 though, or at least what was it?
98, 358.
358. Yeah.
Is it possible for her to join the 99s and then
Yes.
do it at 99? Even if
I
she's
think
not
so.
a pilot? Can she be a non-pilot 99?
I think there are non-pilot 99s.
I think so. I don't know the inclusion criteria, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe somebody out there knows the answer to that. In the meantime, we're going to do this. We're going to hit this button called Getting to Know Us. Ba-da-da-da. It's that segment of the show, and this is where Liz usually puts up a nice little graphic. But you're going to have to just use your imagination because we don't have that available to us at this moment. All right. This is the segment of the show where we kind of get all caught up in what everybody has been up to since the last episode. And who would like to start? I will, since nobody's raising their hand. And I'm volunteering to go first because I really don't have much to talk about other than the fact that I've been doing my normal singing in funerals and masses for the weekend, the Sunday masses and the vigil mass on Saturdays. And on Monday, I thought, after I got the last episode published, I'm thinking, I'm really in the mood to kind of go travel somewhere and have a little adventure. So that's the reason why I'm in the Road Vessel studio. I am up in the mountains of Tennessee, eastern Tennessee, kind of between Johnson City and I guess Asheville, that general area, just over the North Carolina-Tennessee border, at a place called Rowan Mountain, or Roan Mountain, R-O-A-N Mountain. Beautiful here. I'm in Mountain View RV Park, and it's, I have to say it's been mostly raining since I've been here, but it's still been nice and pastoral and peaceful for me to kind of get away and use the Road Vessel studio. And so that's where I'm coming from at this moment, and have the Starlink dish out back, and that's the reason why I'm able to to do the show. Otherwise, there's not even a cell signal here in this valley that I'm in, so it's kind of remote. But I'm loving it, and that's your update from me. What I've been doing, and I'm currently doing. I'll be heading back tomorrow, checking out tomorrow, and heading back down to Atlanta. Who wants to go?
Sounds fabulous, Jeff. Have you got any pictures?
Yeah, I probably do, but I didn't think to put them in the show notes, actually.
Okay. Well, we'll just use our imagination.
Yeah, just use your imagination. It's really beautiful mountains, like a nice green pasture, and then some mountains in the background.
Like Switzerland.
Hmm?
Like Switzerland?
No,
not quite.
those kind of
there's
mountains.
they're not snow-capped. They're not quite as tall.
They're not quite jagged.
This is the
I don't even think
Appalachian
they're tall
rugged.
enough to have a tree line.
Yeah, not. I mean, you're not too far from the tallest mountain.
No, Mount
in the
Mitchell
range.
is just a
Mount
little
Mitchell?
bit south of where I am, I think. Yeah.
6,000 something feet.
Yeah. It's only, I did
very tall.
check the elevation from where I am, and I think it's like 2,000 some odd feet. So it's only about 1,000 feet higher than where I'm usually am in Roswell. So it's not super high elevation here, but
So
it
you're
is a
not
little bit
getting
cooler.
hypoxic?
No, I'm not getting hypoxic, even though I'm acting like I am. But, no. Maybe I might get anemically hypoxic from alcohol every now and then. But other than that, no, it's not the pressure of the oxygen in the air. No.
That's all just about building up a tolerance, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you do it regularly and you'll probably be all right.
Solves the problem.
Yeah. Who
Solid
would like
medical
to?
advice right there.
Who would like to go next?
I can go. I know I haven't been here for a while, but I actually
Yeah.
don't really have that much to talk about. I was looking back through the last month of photos to see where I've been, and the answer is I've been mostly at home. I missed out on all the Oshkosh fun because confluence of work-related things mostly. We're in the middle of transitioning an office to a new location, and it required me to be in different offices, and I'm moving. It just was hectic schedule-wise, plus some additional new responsibilities, and it didn't really work out for me to take any extra time off right then. So I did have a lot of FOMO, though, so I will not be making that mistake again next year. So look for me back at Oshkosh next year, because I definitely want to be there.
Yeah, we missed you.
I know. I really...
And Captain Nick is going to be there next year, too.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've got my legs better.
Yes. So I would have had at least one weekend of flying to tell you about, except that I didn't because the weather was terrible all weekend. So I did not do any flying that weekend, but hopefully this weekend will be better. I'll be back up in the air. And then, I don't know, I had some friends in town that I hadn't seen in at least 10 years, which was pretty amazing. We were
It's a nuclear attack.
Okay.
It'll be over soon.
Oh, that's
be in
the
a shelter
nuclear
of some
attack
sort?
warning.
Is it the radiation alarm going off?
Yeah, sorry.
That's exactly what it was.
Well, you know what's
Yeah, I had
interesting? It was. I'm sorry to interrupt,
no, go
Dr.
ahead.
Steph, but I wasn't the first one. But the normally when we hear that sound, it's usually something that we're hearing in our in the background in the back channel.
1 hour, guys. 1 hour.
Yeah, Liz saying,
Yeah.
that's her little alarm going off, and 1 hour or 45 minutes or whatever she says. But we're missing that, and so I think that's the reason why Captain Nick went ahead and set that little alarm off, just to make us feel more at home. Thank you.
Just more medication
Definitely.
required.
Oh, okay. Well,
Got it.
I could go for some medication.
Good to have those reminders on your phone as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue, Dr. Steph.
Yeah, I had some nice weekends at home. I had some friends in town that I hadn't seen in 10 years. Someone I went to my freshman year of college with in Arizona, and they still live in Arizona. And I'm obviously not anywhere near Arizona, if you're familiar with U.S. geography. But they, she messaged me about this trip they were doing, she, her husband, and their 3 kids almost a year ago. So their plan was to go to Spain to see this week's eclipse. And she tried to get me to go to that as well. And I was kind of set for that, which was part of the Oshkosh conundrum. And then work got in the way of that too. So didn't end up doing that. But they had a long layover in Charlotte where they planned it to be here to arrive Saturday and leave Sunday to go to Spain because they have some, their youngest is 10 years old. They just wanted to break up the trip a little bit. plus use it as a nice excuse to see me, which I'm glad they did. So we had actually some nice, cool, overcast weather, enjoyed some time out on the lake and the water, and the water was nice and warm. The air was not scorcher that weekend. So it was really good to see them and catch up. And we were trying to think how long it had been. And the reason we remembered it was 10 years was because the last time I saw them, my friend was pregnant with her daughter, who's now 10. So
wow,
I had not actually met her in person before.
Nice.
So that was good. It was a much overdue catch up. It was nice to see them. And hopefully they're still in Spain. Obviously the eclipse was yesterday.
Speaking of that, one of our APG live audience regulars, Tanya, I've noticed conspicuously absent today from our live chat, and I think I know why, because I think that she was talking about going to Spain to see the eclipse. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, my friends went to one of my favorite places, Basque Country, Bilbao and San Sebastian, and I was there a number of years ago, and awesome place. So, again, more FOMO, jealous, not there, but getting some important work done, taking care of people. And it's hot here. My air conditioner is on the struggle bus. It's quite old. It had a leak at one point, so it's low on refrigerant that is no longer made. So I probably need to replace that. But it is quite warm up here in the office/studio, so hence the tank top. And I turned the fan off, which was helping a lot, but it's noisy, and now I'm kind of warm. So it's all right.
Sorry.
I'll live.
Thank you.
It's just heat training, so no, it's okay. Yeah. It's we'll call it heat training because the only other thing I've been doing is a lot of running, which I know you guys hear about that a lot from me.
What?
Because
when
less than a month.
Start running?
Oh, I'm swimming.
I swam too. Yeah, we can talk about that real quick. Real quick about the running because it ties into Jeff's comments about altitude and mountains and whatnot. But less than a month from today, I have a 100-mile endurance run that I'm doing with my youngest brother out in Utah. So I've been spending a lot of my free time at our nearby state park, Crowder's Mountain, where you can do these 800-meter elevation gain repeats. So I did 34 miles there last weekend and 10 miles there last night after work, and I'm tired. But I also need the heat training because it's going to be hot, even though it's at elevation. So that race starts at like 4,500 feet elevation, and the highest point is 10.5, and then back down. And it's a lot of up and down and up and down. Yeah, 100 miles. So
do they insist you take a sanity test before you attempt this?
No, they just want $400.
As I say with most of the times you describe one of your running events to us, that sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible. I hope I don't like this because I'm never doing this again. It's been a lot of time and effort. And a lot of like money and gear and supplies. And like I've already shipped I took a bunch of stuff out to my brother's place already. And I still need more stuff. And now we're a month out and I'm like, I need a whole crew of people to assist with this. So it's an Airbnb, and I'm asking them to be there. So
into your madness.
Yeah, perfect. A few of them, like as soon as they found out, they like jumped on it and were like, "Can we?" I was like, "Yes, of course. I'm taking whoever wants to do this." So that'll be interesting. And I did participate in a swim meet last weekend, kind of spur of the moment, down in Columbia, South Carolina. It takes me about just over an hour to get there. At the University of South Carolina, they hosted a master's swim meet in their long course meters pool, which I can't honestly remember the last time I swam a meet in a long course meters pool. It was probably in high school.
I don't quite understand. Are the meters longer in this pool than normal?
So in swimming, there is short course and long course, and short course is typically in a 25-yard pool, and long course is 50 meters, although there are some 25-meter pools too, just to make things weird.
I love you and your units.
Just to keep you guessing.
But this is a worldwide thing, so it's not just the U.S. on this. Because we make the pools 50 meters by 25 yards. I don't know. It's a thing. Anyway,
perfect.
Yeah.
It's just
a normal meter is like 39 inches. So I think these meters are like 45 or something. I think they're a little bit longer.
But anyway, long course, 50 meters. Anyway, so I signed up for some random events. I was like, normally in a short course meet, I'll do a bunch of 50-meter race or 50-yard races just because I like the short distance stuff and I don't really want to work too hard. But for this meet, I also signed up for a 400-meter swim. And I had no time, so I just got to start in the very first heat with a bunch of other people who either didn't know their times or who were not terribly fast swimmers, but out there doing their thing. Awesome to see. And surprised myself by swimming a bit faster than I thought I would. Maybe I'm not, in danger of making the Olympic team or anything, but 6 minutes and 28 seconds for an average of like 137 per 100 meters. So I was pretty happy with that. I felt good.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
yeah, been doing some sporting things. And like I said, hopefully doing some flying this weekend. So
Nice.
Oh, fun.
Well, that's your heat training right there.
yeah. Well, it's nice and cool still at 14,000 feet.
For the,
You don't
90
spend
seconds
long
you're
up
there.
A couple minutes. And we can, the nice thing is the door's open, so you can transport that cool air back to the ground with you. So it does stay a little bit cooler.
Okay.
So I have a question quickly to go back to the long meter. So if we have a ton and a long ton, shouldn't we have a meter and a heavy meter just to keep the
Oh, a
mix?
long ton and a heavy meter. Very
Yes,
good.
yes. I like your lot. That's very sound reasoning. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of stupid.
It's like heavy water. I think they put heavy water in the long course pools.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
All right. Who wants to go next? Maybe AJ, and then we can end with Captain Nick, and we can talk about show art and that kind of stuff. So, AJ.
I literally have nothing. I just looked through the photos in my phone, and I have 5 pictures of my daily schedule at work.
Okay. So you were working.
That's awesome.
I went to work.
Do you want to share the pictures of your schedule? No, that wouldn't be very
It's basically an Excel
interesting.
spreadsheet. It's really not fun.
Okay.
I take that back. I have 2 other pictures. I have a picture of a steak dinner I made, and I have a picture of a rack of ribs that I made. That's it.
You make a rack of ribs? Mm-hmm. Wow. What do you make it out of?
Bones and
other
pig,
ribs?
mostly, yeah. It's a lot of molding.
Neat.
Okay.
It's a very godlike thing that he's doing. Think back to Genesis.
It's really tough to find a barbecue sauce that pairs with the glue you have to use to stick the meat to the bone.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, then that means it's time now to head over to Captain Nick.
Yeah. Okay. So, fantastic news, personal news. Very, 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 very good. So, my left leg has been deteriorating pretty steeply over the last few months, to the point where I was feeling just about crippled. And the trouble is, it doesn't just stop that joint working, because it brings out the other joint in sympathy and both my hips.
This was your knee, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You said the whole leg was deteriorating. I was imagining bits and pieces falling apart and decaying.
It's really pathetic. It's like pieces of his leg just being left here.
So, in fact, the hips were worse than anything else. Just the asymmetry of movement just aggravates all the problems. Anyway, I had got an appointment to have a steroid injection, which I hoped would fix things, but it wasn't for another 6 weeks. So my wife said, "Stop effing about, you stupid old man, and go off and pay for an injection." So I did exactly that. I found a pain clinic nearby and drove out there, and they sucked half a gallon of what looked like IPA out of my
it's usually
knee.
like a nice, healthy, yellowish,
that's
frothy,
right.
a little frothy sometimes.
Yeah, a little frothy. And a couple of big fat syringe fulls out of my knee. And then they squirted what looked like mother's milk into the cavity that remained and pumped it full of steroids and painkillers. And I tell you what, it was almost instantaneous. I jumped off that treatment table and did a fandango, danced out of the treatment room, ran down the street.
Meanwhile, his doctor was like, "Take it easy for a couple days."
They're
Give it
chasing
about 2
after him
weeks.
with the wheelchair.
Absolutely. I was so overjoyed. I left my walking stick behind. I had to go back for it. So anyway,
Where's Miss Shillelagh?
The treatment has worked brilliantly. Now, I know these things don't last forever. The last time, it managed to hold off any deterioration or any pain for 20 months, which I thought was a pretty good record. This one, I don't anticipate that length of freedom of movement, but for the moment, I am just overjoyed. You cannot understand how wonderful it feels to be pain-free and have freedom of movement. So that is great.
I'm surprised to hear that it was so quick. The couple of cortisone shots that I've had in my life, for the first day or so, the cure was worse than the disease. Like, it was
So this
Very
is something
unpleasant.
that's highly variable between patients, and
Is it?
I suspect Captain Nick's improvement so rapidly was two reasons. One was getting all that excess fluid out of the knee. That doesn't feel very good. Everything's just distended and uncomfortable. That joint capsule doesn't feel great. And then if they put lidocaine or some other local anesthetic in with the steroid, that has an almost immediate effect and feels quite good.
My doctor didn't like me that much.
Yeah, you just got steroid only. Sorry, steroid only. Just give you this big steroid flare.
It was weird that he held the syringe over his head when he.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd.
And some people are sensitive to, like, sometimes some people will get a steroid injection and get what we call a steroid flare, where it does make it feel worse before it feels better. That's very common with shoulders, sometimes knees.
Is it something?
Dexamethasone.
That one.
Yeah.
I have a very clear note in my doctor's chart to never, ever give me that.
Yeah, that one is actually the only one that we use for most epidural steroid injections because it's non-particulate. What Captain Nick was describing as being like milky, chalky substance is a particulate steroid, probably triamcinolone or Depo-Medrol, I would guess.
Yeah, I had a bad
said.
reaction to that stuff. Bad.
Your mileage may vary in other countries. They may call it something else. I don't
Indeed.
know. Yeah.
Indeed. Anyway, so that was a great decision and well worth the the money I threw at the gentleman. So that was good. Right. Still sticking on sort of medical stuff, but this is something completely different. You remember back in my flying days, I had a bit of a crisis of confidence, mental crisis, and I went off flying for a while, and it was a cognitive behavioral therapist that drew me back onto the straight and level and got me my job back again, and I regained my license and flew for several years after that, quite happily, and still am a very happy chap. But finding someone who is a therapist, and she was actually also a psychologist and a professor and taught about this. She was very knowledgeable. Finding someone knowledgeable, particularly in the areas where aviation professionals tend to fall down mentally, is hard. And not every therapist is going to be able to deal with the particular areas that affect people in our profession. So if you are a member of our profession and you have any concerns, just pin your ears back. This lady I have come across on the internet. So I've only been in touch with her to ask permission to show a short video. I've not been promoted. She hasn't asked me to promote her, but I feel it's important when you do find someone you think is going to do a good job. This is the sort of person. Now, her name is Dr. Powell. She specializes in aviation therapy, and I just kindly put that slide up. And here I'll give you her contact details now. If you just click your button,
sure.
Jeff. There you go. So she's got a website, theaviationtherapist.com. You can get in touch with her on Instagram, and that's where you find a lot of relatively short videos which are fascinating, and it's at The Aviation Therapist. On Facebook as well, The Aviation Therapist, and she has an email which is hey@theaviationtherapist.com. Hey.
Hey,
so,
not the kind that the horses eat, but like, hey,
yes.
How you doing?
HEY, quite right. So she's licensed in Texas, Arizona, and Florida as a psychologist, but of course she can also be a therapist online, and she provides coaching nationwide. Now, when she says that, I suspect that is just America, which is a shame, but I have no doubt that if you were someone somewhere else in the world and got in touch with her, you could probably arrange sessions. I don't know. I'm guessing. But the fact is that she grew up in an aviation family. So I believe her father's a pilot. She's got lots of people in the industry in her family. She has married a Navy SEAL who is now a pilot, and she works with both military and civil aviation professionals. She's very well informed about how to protect your medical certification. So that's an important thing, I think, for an awful lot of pilots. They are concerned if they speak to a professional in the medical field that they may break their confidence and the FAA may find out about it. So I think you can be pretty sure that that's not going to happen. So I came across the videos and they really struck a chord with me.
Error standard.
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
And
I
this
didn't
is
know I was
one
going to
of the
start
videos. This is one of the videos that she puts out, and I think this is the first one I heard. So, and I listened to it and went, "That is so me." So it might strike a chord with you, if not that one of the others. So just have a listen to this.
For legitimate reasons, because the stakes are real and errors have consequences that most professions do not encounter. So the culture selects for and rewards people who hold themselves to an extremely high standard, and then it reinforces it through evaluation, training, and daily reality of what the job involves. The problem is that the human brain doesn't really separate professional standard from the personal one. So when the message for long enough is errors are unacceptable, the brain eventually hears, I am unacceptable when I err. And that translation from professional standard to personal belief is where perfectionism becomes basically pathological. So here's what that can look like in practice. It is laying awake after a flight that was basically completely safe just because one element wasn't as precise as it could have been. It's replaying a decision that turned out fine, looking for why it was still wrong. It's difficulty accepting feedback without experiencing it as a verdict on your own worth rather than information about your own performance. It's an inability basically to distinguish it, and I made an error and I'm an error-prone person. Those are completely different. And it's also that internal relentless standard that applies off the flight deck too, even in parenting, to relationships, to any domain where the brain has learned that falling short is a character flaw rather than just a data point. So the question for you is whether your high standards are serving you or are they consuming you, whether they are a tool you use or a verdict you live under. The distinction is worth examining. Follow for more and save this if the standard follows you home.
Wow.
So for me, I don't know about you guys, but that really struck a chord with me. And other videos that I have seen on different subjects as well, also, because I don't think a problem can be isolated into one area. You may find things in your life that might be better by talking through. So the physical toll of flying is another area she is interested in. The Dunning-Kruger effect, which is a absolutely fascinating one. The never enough mentality. Am I ever going to match up to the standards that I'm trying to achieve? Why high performers don't recognize burnout, which was certainly the case in my situation. I completely burned out, and it wasn't until I had a breakdown did I even have a clue what was happening. And hypervigilance and aviation and how it affects you. And so much of this is not just how it affects you on the flight deck, but how your behavior, which is perfectly acceptable. In fact, we train for a lot of these behavioral things on the flight deck, but how they also can be quite destructive when you're off the flight deck and you can't relax and you can't let go and you can't find a way to turn off. So there you go. I'm put up the contacts. You have a look at her on Instagram. Take a look at some of her videos. Find some subjects that might interest you. And I just think that this kind of therapist, this kind of person, might be just the thing that some of you out there might feel you need. So there you go.
That definitely makes sense. That's really, really neat. I kind of resonate with a couple of those too. I see that. And Eyal Boxes had the same. Well, he denies it fervently. The standard didn't follow me home, and it's definitely not in this room with me.
Well, can't account for everybody. I think there are some some videos there for low standard people. So yeah,
maybe I should go watch those.
Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
No, that's
there
wonderful. I'm glad you came across her and willing to share her contact info and everything, because we've talked about this before too. But these are things that are not addressed commonly, especially in aviation, because there's this concern that anything that you bring up along these lines will lead to loss of medical, loss of flying privileges.
Not addressed. It's actively denied and avoided.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it sounds like she's figured out a way to help mitigate some of those concerns through the type of work that she does and the way that she's doing it. So that's really encouraging.
Absolutely. And also, Abigail is completely up with the latest of what the FAA allows in the way of mental, I'm not going to say medication, but mental treatment.
Sure.
So from that point of view, I think she's a really switched on lady, and I commend her to you. So that's great. Now something much more serious. Cover art.
Yeah.
All right, we had some
it.
interesting suggestions last week. So I think the one that everyone said, oh, this is absolutely brilliant, was because Jeff was having a few technical issues, which, of course, are pretty rare. And I just found a way to perhaps illustrate that. And we came up with a new term for when things are effed up, is we're all Jeffed up.
Jeffed up,
so,
I love it.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's, along with the Funyuns, this is going to be another new one. And the
have we created our own dictionary yet, or
we should?
Yeah,
there's some sort of a glossary.
A glossary, yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Glossary. Show glossary.
Absolutely. So there's Jeff in his studio, which is going up in flames behind him.
That's that's a real picture of my studio right there. Except for the flames,
This would be a definition 2 though, Steph.
Oh,
because if you up your Jeff, you're just taxiing faster.
But if that's a Jeff number.
Yeah. So we definitely need to have some clarification on all these things.
You could Jeff it up by upping your Jeff.
Upping your Jeff number.
Going faster.
Yeah.
Could you please
one can
Jeff it
lead
up?
to the other.
Like on Taxiway Alpha, would you please Jeff it up a bit?
And then things become Jeffed up when
and
it doesn't go
if
well
you go
with
too
the speed.
fast, then it's all Jeffed up.
Okay, for the Easter eggs. Now, I was just curious to know if you remember where that photograph was taken, Jeff.
No.
Oh,
you mean the of me? I'm thinking. Yes. I'm looking at all the things in the background. I'm going. I don't remember any of that.
The one of you.
So it must have been a while ago, because that iPhone's an older iPhone with the camera attachment, the Lightning camera attachment, so that I could attach my microphone. But I don't remember where that was taken. No, where was that?
Oh, that was in the pub after our visit to the RAF Museum.
Okay.
And we met all our lovely followers who had come to us that day. Anyway,
okay.
By the way, moving on, the Easter eggs. Okay, first of all, we've got, I think the penguin is getting a bit high, but anyway, he's got his earphones on.
I was like, is he DJing the chaos here?
I think he is. Yes, I think he's probably the he's orchestrated it.
Yeah.
So,
and
if you look at Jeff's phone, he's obviously got the very latest phone with a 718 where the camera should be. So there's
I did not spot that.
Show number.
Okay.
And
do I go to the next
onwards
one?
and upwards. I had to make it easy for some of you, because I know some of you have trouble
it's pretty,
with your eyesight nowadays. So
pretty
the
obvious.
logo is a little obvious this week. So there you go.
And that picture right there, you can see some of the fillings in my teeth, my upper.
You certainly can.
Yeah.
Very high resolution picture,
Yeah.
high definition.
It was very good, yes.
Yeah.
That's a pretty useless microphone you got there, though, Jeff.
Yeah, you know what, though? The microphone in that picture has that dead cat or whatever on it. And it's the same one that I'm using right now.
Oh, is it? The very same microphone?
Yeah. It's not the same
small,
microphone,
wow.
but it's the same.
Same cat.
Yeah. Same dead
You
cat.
stuffed a different microphone into
Same
your
muff.
dead cat.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, that was fun. That was 719.
Yeah.
8.
No, 718.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
718.
All right.
Looking forward to 719.
All right. Me too. Okay. And as long as we're at it, why don't I do the quick coffee fund? Here we go.
Johnny, how much more coffee?
No thanks.
I love coffee. I love tea. I love the APG community. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup.
Oh, yeah. The Coffee Fund is your way to support our show financially if you'd like. It's a free show. We do it because we love you and we love hanging out with each other every week and talking about aviation mostly. But if you'd like to join the Coffee Bar Club, as these two gentlemen have, using the Coffee Fund Classic method, you can go to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. And Mazutz Karim and George Hollis both utilize the Coffee Fund Classic method for contributing to our show, in this case 719. And also, we have something called Patreon, and we have a new patron. It's been a while. And we have an executive producer level. His name is Mike Duhamel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Mike. But you know what you should do? Send in some audio feedback, and then you can pronounce it for us, and we'd love to hear from you. But anyway, thank you very much for joining the other patrons at Patreon, Mike. And if, again, you're interested in doing the same, please head over to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. You'll be glad you did. We will too.
Captain, incoming message.
We're going to start off with this feedback from Richard Nash. He sent some video about a skydiving airplane. In this case, it's a skydiving jet, a DC-9. And let's see, he says one for the whole crew here. It's got a DC-9, skydivers, and no Boeings. So that should make Captain Nick kind of happy. And so...
Yeah, I'm just trying to read what's written on the side of that airplane.
It says Skydive Paris. That's the drop zone out in California that operates this. Yeah.
I saw
PERRIS.
Interesting. I was going, that's a funny name for a skydiving.
I see what you're saying.
Paris Valley, California.
Paris.
Okay.
I can see, if you're not good at reading cursive, how that looks like something else.
Well, it's probably not that large either. Yeah.
It's kind of tiny.
So you want me to play the video and see what happens? Okay, let's go.
I flew on the world's only skydiving DC-9. The Douglas DC-9 was one of the first short-haul jet airliners developed in the U.S.
This is Alex Praglowski, his YouTube channel.
Flying for the first time in 1965. It opened up jet service to countless smaller cities that would not have otherwise been served by the four-engine jetliners of the time. It's also the first of several generations of McDonnell Douglas narrow-body airliners, and was later developed into the even more popular MD-80, and then into the MD-90, and finally the Boeing 717. Now, anyone who's watched these videos for a while knows that I'm a big fan of the DC-9 family. I once went all the way to Bulgaria to fly on the last MD-80s in Europe, not to mention a couple 717s in Hawaii the same year. In total, 976 of the original DC-9s were built, from 1965 until 1982, and as with any type built around those years, there are not that many left flying these days. Most active ones are flying cargo in Mexico, and supposedly there are a few in Africa still flying passengers. One of the more notable ones still kicking around, though, is in Southern California, in the city of Paris. Paris Valley Airport, located roughly between Los Angeles and Palm Springs, is a privately owned airport with a 5,100-foot runway. It's home to Skydive Paris, one of the largest skydiving drop zones in the country, and has been a family-run operation since 1976. They operate a fairly large skydiving fleet of 3 Twin Otters and 5 short Skyvans. However, the airport is also home to November 127 November Kilo, a 1969-built McDonnell Douglas DC-9-21. This 57-year-old plane is full of history and was first delivered to Scandinavian Airlines in May 1969. It's one of only 10 DC-9-20s built, essentially combining the shorter fuselage of the DC-9-10 with the more powerful engines and larger wing of the DC-9-30 to meet SAS's need for better short-field performance. It bounced around Scandinavia until 1995, when it made its way over to the States and briefly flew with Spirit Airlines, ValueJet, and eventually Allegiant Air in 1998. Allegiant retired it in 2002, and needing engine overhauls, it was destined to be scrapped. That's where Diane and Benny Knatzer, the founders of Skydive Paris, came in, seeing an opportunity to offer an entirely unique skydiving experience. After a year in storage in Victorville, the plane was flown out with 2 new engines over to Paris, where some modifications would need to be made. First and foremost, most members of the DC-9 family were designed with air stairs in the tail to make boarding and deplaning easier. In this plane's case, they were, well, removed completely to create an unobstructed skydiving exit. With that, plus some structural changes, they received approval from the FAA, and the plane flew its first skydivers in 2006. The DC-9 was then put into storage again in 2013, and after years of work, returned to the air a decade later in 2024. This makes it the only airworthy example of a DC-9-20 in the world, which is already rare enough. Now, almost immediately after it flew again, the question became, will they let people ride along on this without jumping? Unfortunately for the poor social media admin of the Skydive Paris page, that was a very frequent question they got, and the answer was pretty conclusive. Despite ride-alongs not being a thing, the DC-9 flies a couple times a year on specific days, and usually with more than enough notice to plan a trip down there. The other thing about the airport you may have noticed is that the runway is only 50 feet wide. That's not to mention the fence line is not that far from said runway, meaning just watching it fly would be an experience in itself. So, a few months ago, some good friends and I made the trip down to California to do exactly that, and see and hear it we did. Okay, I've never quite felt the ground shake like that while filming an airliner taking off. It honestly sounded more like a fighter jet in that moment than anything else. Now, on the day that we were there, the plane was supposed to fly 2, potentially 3 times, so there was plenty of opportunity to get a couple different angles. They climb up to 15,000 feet in just 5 minutes or so, drop up to 80 skydivers over the course of a few passes, and are then back on the ground in 20 minutes.
80.
Aside from the obvious part of having the air stair door in the first place, this is also where the extra performance of the DC-9-20 really helps, because flying a jet for skydiving is not cheap. Skydive Paris even admits that they operate it more for love than money, which I have huge respect for. All the more reason to come down here to see it fly now. Once the last of the skydivers are away, the DC-9 heads back down very quickly, with vertical speeds between 4 and 8,000 feet per minute, and still ends up beating the last of the skydivers back to the ground.
It's landing. Stop.
So, after that spectacular display of a DC-9 doing things no normal airliner ever does, we asked around to see if we could get a closer look at it before the next flight. Because the east side of the runway is technically where the drop zone is, we signed a couple waivers and got a ride over to the plane to go check it out. That was pretty much the perfect opportunity to grab some close-up photos and get a good look inside, especially at the data plate and of course the flight deck too. Like I mentioned at the start, this plane is now 57 years old, and like any jet built in 1969, keeping it functional in this day and age is no small feat.
Okay, so we have quite a bit more. It's a 13 and a half minute video, and we've seen about 7 minutes of it so far. I think this might be a good point to stop the video and point and have the link to it in the show notes for you to watch the entire thing. But I think that'll be good enough for us to at least start a discussion about this kind of airplane being used for its mission of dumping jumpers.
Yeah, I mean, they've been using it for quite a while now. Obviously, there was a big gap in it, and I think during that time when it was stored again, and people were like, it's not coming back, that's a thing of the past. But, it costs a bit more than a normal skydive that you would do. You think even for licensed jumpers, it's like $200 or $300 or something. I mean, it's expensive to run that airplane, obviously. But most people are doing it for, the experience of doing that one time, get their own DB Cooper list moment. Yeah. And there is plenty of video out there. If you search, just on YouTube or Google or whatever, you can find, skydivers always have GoPros and cameras and things. So there's plenty of first person footage of people jumping from this airplane. And it's actually pretty interesting to watch. They let a bunch of people go all at once. You might be surprised that it's just a normal cabin interior with seats that look like an airliner still a bit. And they basically get up into the aisle and single file out the back. So, and then
Peter Tarantelli is asking about the JPM, which is jumpers per mile. Yeah.
In this airplane, I don't think they're giving any sort of separation between groups. It's just go. I don't know what they're. Actually, you might know this, Jeff. What the you can configure the airspeed to be, because you're exiting the rear of the aircraft, so you could basically have it flaps and slow, and so that's not that different than like King Air, or I mean the Caravan will do 80. So it depends on what your winds are, but your ground speed could then theoretically be pretty slow still. So you could but you have just a lot of jumpers to get out too. So, and they're going to 15,000 feet. So usually they'll have a plan in place when there's that many jumpers in the air of how people are going to then separate themselves on the jump in terms of, earlier jumpers may take a longer delay before they deploy so that they're opening at a lower altitude versus, and I think I've not been out to Paris, but I do think their landing area is reasonably large. So you're trying to figure out where everyone is going to stage themselves.
I think what was impressive was the center line, maintaining the center line on that jet, because he's only got about 15 feet on either side of those main gear to the grass. So it's not a lot of extra room.
Not a wide runway.
What was the name of that dude that bailed out of the
DB Cooper?
DB Cooper. Yeah, I'm wondering if they, got some advice.
Oh, there's certainly inspiration.
What was your technique? Of course, we haven't seen or heard from DB in quite some time.
It's the wrong airplane, guys.
I know but it's the same kind of deal with the door in the back, the air stairs. Yeah.
I do hope at least one person has jumped out of there in a nice big giant lapel, suit with sunglasses on.
Oh, surely.
It has to. Yeah, has to.
DB Cooper costume.
Yeah.
That's happened, I'm sure.
All right. Anything else to say? As I said, a couple of you had sent in links to articles and videos regarding this. So, Martin Edwards and Richard Nash both sent us this feedback. So, I'm glad we finally got a chance to address it. Is that something that you feel like you'd like to do, Steph? Head out to Southern California and jump out of the DC-9?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool experience.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, once you're out the door, it's a skydive.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's see. We have the, I think I took the actual video out of my keynote, but we just wanted to remind everybody that Deanna Tickle sent in, it was our last feedback item on the last show, about the upcoming release of the motion picture Acme versus Coyote. Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, I guess. I don't know what the actual title is, the official title. But no, it's Coyote versus Acme. It's coming out on the 28th of August. So we're recording this on the 13th, so about about 2 weeks or so, a little bit more. So just wanted to mention that. And I trust that many of us on the crew are going to watch it, and we'll have a review. Let's continue this with Tim Qualls. Hi, crew. Hope everybody who made it to AirVenture is having an incredible time. Yeah, we did. Last minute, things didn't work out for me to make it this year. I had planned on this being my last year for a while, but maybe I'll have to get up there next year to make up for it. I'd planned on doing some of the workshops this year, mostly the ones on aviation photography, but came across another that looked like it would be interesting if Dr. Steph is indeed teaching it. I know she's a subject matter expert, so it wouldn't surprise me. I've included a photo with the specific workshop circled. When I saw the chapter title for Sam's feedback in episode 715 entitled, Is Steph Moonlighting?, I actually thought I had waited too long to send this in, and he beat me to it. Turns out she's just very busy. And now I apologize. If Liz were here, she would be showing in our video, for those watching the live recording, this picture. But I'll put this pic that Tim, or the screenshot that Tim snapped for us in our show notes, and also in the chapter images if you're watching or listening to the audio only podcast. And so in his screenshot, it's showing a lineup of some of the forums. I
pulled it up.
Oh, did you? Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for that. So he's got it all nicely circled for us. The subject of the workshop is engine mounts / shimmy dampers. From 10 o'clock to 11:15 Central Daylight Time. Workshop classroom.
Be dampeners?
Well, I've seen it damper like this, and I've also seen it dampener as well. So I think
down here
either
in the
way,
South, we say dampener.
Well, maybe you do, but I say shimmy damper actually myself. But I'm not.
Isn't a damper a kind of bread, a loaf you can cook in the fire? Or perhaps you don't have that over in America.
I don't know. Let me do a quick search while we're doing this live.
Never heard that type of bread.
Damper, one that deadens, restrains, or depresses is the noun. Rain put a damper on our picnic plans. An adjustable plate, in the flue of a furnace or stove for controlling the draft.
There we go. Aussie olive damper bread recipe. Damper food. Thick homemade bread traditionally prepared by early European settlers in Australia.
Okay.
There you go.
And then also in this definition that I'm looking at online is third definition, a device in various keyboard instruments for deadening the vibrations of the strings. Yes. And so I think that's why it's referred to as a damper for landing gear, a shimmy damper, to keep the gear from shimmying.
Indeed. However, I did not teach this one because I know nothing about engine mounts. So somebody else is obviously stealing my subject matter expertise and adding on with it. And I don't know who that person is, but I shall ask for royalties.
Yeah. And I would ask and make sure that they're at least drinking 2 or 3 IPAs, strong IPAs
minimum.
Before they do this.
And pair that with baseline significant fatigue.
Right. And not getting much sleep, right?
Yes.
For a while.
Bear in mind, this is an hour of 15 talking about engine mounts and shimmy dampers. That would be...
That's exhausting alone.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, it's in the workshop classroom, so maybe they're building some shimmy dampers and engine mounts. Maybe it's a hands-on project.
Yeah.
I don't know
about you. I'd have to be drinking some IPAs to be listening to this particular lecture. All right. Thank you, Tim. And sorry you didn't make it this year, but hope to see you there next year. Hope you're feeling better. Some feedback. We met several of us who were at Oshkosh this year. And if you happen to have watched our Oshkosh special episode that we published, we did a 2-parter there. And this gentleman we met and was at one of, I think it was at one, maybe both of the recordings at the RVS in our special private campground. Eyal Shenkman sent this to us. Actually, David Abbey sent this to us because he had received this from Eyal. Eyal is from Israel, and he sent us this nice write-up about the B-17. He said, what I didn't know about the B-17. I'll read a little bit of it, but I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's quite a long, multi-page article that he wrote. A visit to the National Museum of the Mighty 8th Air Force. For nearly 20 years, I served in Israel's 69 Squadron, the Hammers, the squadron that once flew the only 3 B-17 flying fortresses ever to serve in the Israeli Air Force. I'd met several of the pilots and ground crew who flew and maintained those airplanes, read books about them, watched documentaries, and convinced myself that I knew their story. Only after walking through a flying fortress did I begin to understand what its crews had actually experienced. In all my 69 years, an amusing coincidence, I had never seen a real B-17. Not on the ground, and certainly not in the air. The closest I had ever come was the upper turret from one of Israel's original aircraft, preserved as a memorial outside the headquarters of 69 Squadron. About a year ago, my childhood friend Yohei, who lives near Savannah, Georgia, mentioned a museum dedicated to the mighty 8th Air Force that displayed a beautifully restored B-17. I filed that little piece of information somewhere in the back of my mind and forgot about it. Several months later, my wife finally convinced me to fulfill a lifelong dream and attend EAA AirVenture Oshkosh for the very first time. Once I knew I was flying to the United States, my first visit in nearly 20 years, it was obvious that I also had to visit Yohei. And then he goes on to talk about visiting the museum near Savannah, the 8th Air Force Historical Society and their museum, and the B-17. So that's just a little taste of his article that he wrote up, and you might want to take a look at it. Again, it'll be in the show notes.
That's awesome. I appreciate him taking the time to put that together and send it over to us. The pictures are great too, so definitely take a look.
Yeah, and Aial is a great guy. It was so nice to meet you, Aial, and I know you're listening, and hope to see you again next year and many years thereafter. And maybe one of these days actually visit you in Israel. That would be interesting. All right. Continuing on, we have this from Peter Combs. He says, "Hi, crew. Very long time listener since 2013. Wow. First-time writer. I saw this video on the very popular 7-4 Gear YouTube channel where he talks about a British Airways pilot trying to coax JFK air traffic control into declaring LVO procedures. He starts off talking about how everybody was praising the pilot and then shows how this was actually not the case. After watching the video, I'm firmly on Kelsey, as the guy that does the 7-4 Gear YouTube channel, on his side with regards to the underserved praise the pilot received and the hate that the air traffic controller received. I was hoping you all could weigh in on this, especially Captain Nick. He has experience of flying large jets out of JFK, or better yet, Miami Rick, as he flies the 747. Who? Yeah, we haven't seen Rick in a while. And he sent a follow-up email because we did talk about this video and the subject on an earlier episode. And he goes, haha, looks like I picked the absolute worst possible feedback to be my first, certainly making no friends. I just listened to you talking about this on episode 715. Nonetheless, would still love to get your take on Kelsey's video. Thank you. So I guess we could play a little bit of Kelsey's video, 7-4 Gear, and then we can discuss this a little bit more. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Go for it.
I got sent this audio, and I really honestly didn't think much of it. Until a week later, I happened to see it on YouTube as well, and I saw all these comments from people all over the internet about how great these pilots were and how terrible the controllers were. And I thought, wow, I couldn't disagree more with what these people are saying. So leave it to me to pick a fight with the internet. Check this audio out.
Live Flight November, everyone, 228, line is delayed, RBR is 1000. Line up, I'm wait, runway 2 to right, hello to Flight November.
Kennedy, Speedbird 18 Alpha Heavy, are you declaring LVOs? Kennedy from Speedbird 18 Alpha Heavy, are you declaring LVOs?
I'm not on the show. I don't understand the question. Speedbird 118 Alpha Heavy.
So this British Airways pilot, call sign they use is Speedbird, is asking if they're using LVOs, which is low visibility operations. That's what he's asking here.
Are you declaring LVOs?
To be honest, and I've flown all over the world, I have never heard it referred to as LVOs. That's not a common term that I've heard. It does exist, but I've never heard it used, and not in this context. And when I first heard it, I thought, what's an LVO? Obviously, I'm not there. Maybe if I was there at the airport, it would made more sense. But I honestly never heard it used or referred to in that way ever. What they're saying here when they say the RVR is 1,000?
Line of weight RVR is 1,000.
It means essentially you're looking out the runway and you can see 1,000 feet down the runway. Now, I've done these types of takeoffs. 1,000 RVR isn't really a big deal. Usually the lowest most carriers can go to for the type of flying that I do is 500 feet. That's usually the minimum. And that's not a lot of visibility when you're looking out the window of your plane, especially on a 747 where you're up a lot higher. Usually it's because the fog is settled. There's no wind coming in. So add another floor and the visibility is usually even worse.
Yeah, so that gives you an idea. We did talk about this in depth on an earlier episode, 715, I think he said. I thought that was interesting. Honestly, I kind of kept my mouth shut when the Speedbird pilot was saying LVOs, and I'm thinking, well, it's been a while since I've flown, but there wasn't a commonly used phrase in my experience, but I thought maybe it's because I just haven't done a lot of flying internationally, and so I thought maybe it's a much more common term to be used at international airports around the world. So that's why Captain Nick was the one that was basically talking mostly about this and low visibility operations and LVOs and that kind of thing. So, but yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that he's got any kind of a point? I know that was just the very first part of his analysis.
I listened to the whole thing a couple of times, in fact, when it first came out, Jeff. So, I can't say I'm on the same wavelength as that captain. LVOs, in my experience, is a very common term concerning low visibility operations. It's an standard ICAO term, and as such, I would have expected someone of this bloke's experience to have come across it more often and be familiar with it. Having said that, I don't think the Speedbird crew did themselves, or that particular pilot did themselves any favours. If it's obvious that the bloke isn't understanding what your question you're answering, then spell it out. It's all very well using an acronym, but not everyone understands every acronym there exists in the world. So say
what?
Are low visibility procedures currently in force with the RVR you've got?
Right.
And it is important because your own airline procedures may not allow you to operate in low visibility conditions unless the airport has put certain safeguards in place, and they are supposed to put safeguards in place when the visibility drops into the low visibility. And I have to say, it's not really down at the airport because this is a legal requirement. So I'm not too sure why JFK were being so cagey about it, and also why Kelsey was saying, well, that's fair enough, leave it up to him. I don't think that was the case at all. Having said that, I also believe that procedures in the United States are now being redefined under a new set of rules, so that more guidance is being given and set procedures are kind of being categorized so that everyone is working off the same page. So hopefully this sort of confusion won't occur in the future. But it is important. People need additional guidance from the lighting and from ground control when low visibility conditions exist. The crews have to be aware of the holding points that might change during low visibility operations, because people will be doing Cat 2 and Cat 3 landings, and you can't afford to go to the normal Cat 1 holding points if that obstructs the ILS aerials, because that may distort the signal, and it's obviously very dangerous if that occurs when you're doing an auto land. So you have to bear in mind not just your conditions for takeoff, but how you may affect conditions for aircraft that are landing. I thought he's good at having a good old rant, and he's a knowledgeable, very knowledgeable chap, this YouTuber. So I don't have anything personally against him, but I thought on this case he was picking the high ground, and I don't necessarily think it was the right thing to do. But everyone's entitled to an opinion.
As he said, he likes to pick a fight or argue with the internet, and that's what he did.
That's how he gets more hits.
Yeah,
I'm sure. And also that's just in his personality, so it makes him a better watch if you can find something a bit contentious to think about. And also gets us all talking about something which is relatively important.
Indeed. Acronyms are a problem in medicine as well. A lot of them are thrown about and not always universally utilized. Out of curiosity, I typed in on Google LVO just to see if the ICAO definition came up for it. And the only thing I could get to come up was, in medicine, it stands for large vessel occlusion. And I've never heard that abbreviation used.
They were asking about.
So, anyway, apparently if you block a big blood vessel in your brain and have a stroke, it's an LVO. So.
Try going ICAO, LVO.
Yeah, that was the missing piece of information. I'm sure it'll come right up.
Well, to his credit, he did say, I wasn't there, and it may have been, the context would probably have been more obvious if he were there in that situation with the low visibilities and everything.
Yeah, and I think if you're hearing about RVRs and you know that you're looking out the window and it's pretty soupy, that's probably going to pop into your brain as something it might stand for. And I think
that a lot of different airlines have their own requirements and SOPs for operations, and because they have certain restrictions from actually taking off if LVO procedures are not declared, so you could kind of understand from their point of view. But what did you come up with, Captain Nick?
Yeah, as soon as you put ICAO LVO, then it comes up with a thing saying the specific rules and steps used by airports and planes. They keep flights safe during thick fog, heavy rain, snow, blah, blah, blah. So
I will say that, your point about, like certain, areas that you have to honor for, low RVRs and low visibility operations, et cetera. I think that the tower would probably have, instructed, where to hold short and everything else. I mean, they're the ones responsible for maintaining all those restrictions.
You wouldn't necessarily get that in the UK. What you've got to do is, when you know that the procedures are in force, you have to look at your charts and only go to the low
Markings
visibility holding points.
Gotcha.
So that's actually a crew responsibility, not necessarily an air traffic responsibility. They assume that when they declare LVOs that you won't go beyond the Cat 3 holding points.
Okay.
So,
well, that's fair.
Which is another reason why I think it's important that airports declare when they're in a low visibility situation, so that all the crews know what procedures to apply.
As part of our training of driving on the airport at Hartsfield, there's a certain visibility requirement that you have to hold short of the ILS critical areas and things like that. You're only allowed to go certain places, but it's not. You're not waiting for some grand announcement.
Normally it's in the ATIS.
You do this.
Low visibility procedures are in force. And
so, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and if it wasn't, that might have been what cued Speedbird to ask, because the visibility was obviously in the bracket of now gone into low visibility levels of visibility across that line. Yet there may not have been anything in the ATIS to back that up. So he doesn't know whether LVPs are in force or not.
So here's something interesting for you, Captain Nick. I did your same Google search of ICAO, LVO, and it led me to an FAA link updated last March 6th of 2026, so pretty recent. And it's about the Low Visibility Operations / Surface Movement Guidance and Control System, LVO.
SMIGS. That's what we call it, SMIGS charts.
There's a SMIGS, yeah. There's a list that is continually revised, and information is believed to be accurate, but confirmed through the ATIS, and it has the list of airports that have accepted programs is what I think this is referring to. And pretty much all of the large airports in the U.S. are listed on this sheet, but when you get down to JFK, their status is initiated, not accepted. So,
well,
that might be.
Perhaps they're in the process.
Yeah.
Especially after that recent,
Yeah, this was several months ago. The last it was updated or believed to be accurate. Every other airport is accepted, with the exception of Little Rock, which is suspended, and Fort Worth, Texas, also initiated, but some little it's a pro field. It's not Dallas-Fort Worth. So, anyway.
Cool.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I think we're getting close to the end of our 2-hour show, and I think that the best way to end this might be from this feedback from Deanna Tickle, number 10. I think that this will be a kind of an uplifting way to end our show, and it involves a video. Looks like a dash cam video showing this 21-year-old flight instructor having an issue with the airplane that she's flying, and she lands on a highway. And I think it's pretty amazing. I think you'll agree with me. Let's take a look. Okay, so there's no sound. Wow. Just to describe it. The airplane comes into view and then flies above the road and below some kind of a stanchion, like a sign.
Like a signage. Those are not terribly tall.
Let me show that again.
We would call that a gantry in the UK.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
It's like,
wow, yeah.
I mean,
it's
solid,
a very low bridge, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and clears it and then touches down just beyond that.
In a gap between cars.
Yeah, between cars, and then there are trees, not that, I mean, they're pretty darn close to the edge of that freeway. I think it was Interstate 10, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
although that doesn't look like an interstate.
That doesn't look like interstate.
Looks like a boulevard or something. But what AJ?
She actually flared the airplane. Basically, every other one of these videos that we see of something like this, they just come in like a pile driver and just smash into the pavement because they've already stalled it. She's in full control of the airplane.
She goes, I'm going to get a nice touchdown. Yeah.
So there's actually someone found the ATC audio of this, and I'm sorry, I should have done my research and added this in. She is calm, collected, like very in charge of the situation. She's like, nope, we have no power. We're not going to make the field. We're lined up with, I think she did say I-10, and we're trying to time it between vehicles, and that's where we'll be if you can send emergency services there. So very.
Yeah, I heard that audio also.
Yeah, she was very.
I wish I had that. Sorry.
Very good. Yeah, but props to this pilot. She did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Very cool.
Impressive.
Very cool. All right. So that's going to be it for our show today. And Liz, we missed you. Hope you're feeling better. But we're going to wrap it up by pointing you to our website, airlinepilotguy.com, where you'll find information about our crew and the community calendar and the APG library that librarian Tiffany manages for us. We have the special page for the Old Pilot's Plane Tales, merchandise, and so much more. Please head over to our website. I think you'll get a lot out of it. And also we're on social media, or what I like to call the social meds. Dr. Steph.
Yeah. Probably not recorded me like going through this for the weeks I'm not here. I don't know. you guys just enjoy doing it as well. Oh no, but there's no slide for me to reference, and I got to remember off the top of my head. I just read this, right?
I'm sorry. You're going to have to wing it. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. We're on social media. You can head over to Facebook, facebook.com/airlinepilotguy. Over on X, we're at APG Crew. Same on Instagram if you're looking for Captain Nick's weekly show artwork. And then obviously the YouTube page, youtube.com/airlinepilotguy, I believe. That's where you'll find these video recordings of the live shows, and you can head over there to join in the live audience when we're actually recording. And if that's just not enough, as always, we would like to point you over to Slack. And hopefully Hillel has made the trip to the mountains of Tennessee to use Jeff's shower.
Let's see if... yeah, believe it or not, he has made it here. Let me see if he can tell us about Slack. Hey, hello. Can you tell us about Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
That's fine. Don't use all my water, okay?
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas, we suggest episode and plain tales topics, we plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com. Or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel. All right, appreciate that. And also, again, thanks to Liz, our producer, for all the hard work that she does.
Feeling better, Liz.
Yeah, usually she's here during the show and helping us.
She's been working really hard on getting us to do some show prep too. So
yeah, she has.
Give her credit for nudging us to take a look at the lineup and things.
Yeah, much appreciated. And we'd also like to thank our live audience, our live chatters. Thank you so much for hanging out with us each and every week. And finally, we'd like to say, wishing you all clear skies, unlimited visibility, and tailwinds. Take care, and God bless.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the airline pilot guy.
Good day.
I used to be such a good pilot till I started APG. I opened doors for little old ladies. I helped them to their seats. Airline pilot guy, I fly America. Oh, airline pilot guy, he can land in heavy fog. I got no friends 'cause I'm always flying. I just don't have the time. But I can land this old plane. I can land it just fine. Airline pilot guy, I fly